Landice. L7, L8, and L9 Treadmill 90 series assembly video. Before you begin the assembly, please make sure to read the assembly manual thoroughly, as it contains important safety warnings and assembly tips. The following tools are required for installation: a socket set with a 3/8" socket, a 7/16" socket, a 1/2" socket, and a 9/16" socket. 2 adjustable open-end wrenches, or 2 open-ended 14mm and 19mm wrenches. 1 4mm, 5mm, and 6mm hex wrench. 1 cross-tip Phillips screwdriver. A hand level. And finally, 1 razor blade knife. Unpacking your new treadmill. Unpacking and installation of the treadmill should be done by a qualified technician. Please move the shipping crate pallet to the location of final assembly. Allow 3 to 5 feet working space to safely remove box and pallet. The L7, L8, and L9 treadmills are shipped horizontally and should lay flat on the wooden blocks as shown. Next, remove shipping strapping from the box and pallet. Please use caution as the straps may be under tension. Locate the staple line on the side of the box and, using a razor knife, carefully cut the box 1 inch above the staple line on all 4 sides of the box. Remove and discard the box. The L8, L9 treadmill and final assembly components, including 90 series hardware kit for both models, are held together with strapping. Remove these straps using caution, as they may be under tension. Carefully lift and remove the upright tower and assembly component boxes from treadmill base. Place these items safely aside for later assembly. Position yourself at end of the treadmill running surface, and using both hands, carefully lift and slide treadmill off the pallet to left or right. Finally, remove the pallet and discard. Unpacking is now complete. Base assembly instructions. For this step, you will require the following parts. Begin the assembly by positioning the base where the treadmill is to be located. Allow a minimum clearance of 18 inches, 46 centimeters, on each side of the treadmill, and allow a minimum clearance of 6 feet, 183 centimeters, at the rear of the treadmill. Use a 3/8" socket to remove the 3 bolts from each side of the upright bracket on the frame. Next, slide the upright down over both brackets. The upright legs may require slight compression to properly fit between the upright brackets. Make sure the guide wire tie is out of the way. Secure each side using 3 bolts per side, starting with the 2 inside bolts first, then the outside bolt. Tighten all bolts and repeat these steps for the opposite side. Base assembly is now complete. Proceed to either handrail installation or optional medical rail installation as appropriate for your treadmill. Handrail installation. If your treadmill was purchased with standard handrails, you will require the following parts. The inside covers are shipped and attached to the handrails. Remove inside covers before installing the handrails. Next, slide the handrail onto the bracket found on the upright and secure with the 6 M8 by 15 socket head cap screws found in the 90 series hardware kit. Tighten all screws using a 6mm hex wrench. Proceed by installing the inner handrail cover using the 3 previously removed M5 by 15 socket head cap screws. Tighten all screws using a 4mm hex wrench. Finally, repeat the same steps on the opposite side and attach the right handrail. Handrail installation is now complete. Optional medical rail installation. If your treadmill was purchased with the optional medical rail option, you will require the following parts. Begin by separating both medical rail covers as shown. Using a 4mm hex wrench, remove the 7 M5 socket head cap screws holding each cover assembly together. Separate each set of covers and save the hardware for later reuse. Repeat steps for both covers. Next, locate the medical rail bracket and insert it into the open end of the crossbar. Secure the bracket in place using a 1/4x20 hex head screw. Tighten the screw using a wrench with a 7/16 socket. Attach the medical rail to the frame. Locate the bottom end of the rail and attach the rail using 2 1/4x20 self-tapping screws. Secure the screws with a Phillips cross-tip screwdriver. Attach the top part of the medical rail to the medical rail bracket using a 5/16" hex bolt with a lock washer. Use a wrench with a 1/2" socket to tighten the bolt. First, attach the left outside cover to the medical rail. Insert 6 M8x16 socket head cap screws found in the 90 series hardware kit. Insert the screws through the upright mounting bracket into the corresponding threaded holes on the outside cover. Be certain to start all 6 screws by hand prior to tightening. Tighten all screws using a 6mm Allen wrench. Attach the inner left covers that were previously removed using 7 M5 socket head cap screws. Tighten all screws using a 4mm Allen wrench. Repeat these steps for the opposite side to attach the right medical handrail and covers. Optional medical rail installation is now complete. Plastic bridge installation. For this step, you will require the following parts. Begin by placing the plastic bridge over the handrails. The ribbon and pulse cable from the lower control panel needs to be placed in the center notch over the plastic bridge. Secure the plastic bridge from the top using 4 M6x16 screws found in the hardware kit. Tighten the 4 screws using a 5mm hex wrench. Next, attach the plastic bridge from the underneath using 2 M6x16 button head screws. Tighten both screws by first using your hand and then using a 5mm hex wrench. Locate the ribbon cable and pulse cable coming from the lower control panel and feed them through the hole in the plastic bridge and up through the hole in the center of the upright. Care should be taken to not twist or pinch remote console wiring while inserting through access holes in upright. Finally, place the accessory tray on top of the control console and engage the tray tabs in the notches of the plastic bridge. Rotate the accessory tray as shown to snap the posts into their receivers. Plastic bridge installation is now complete. Display console assembly. For this step, you will require the following parts. Place the display console on top of the base assembly and hold it centered. There are 3 cables coming from the bottom of the console: the long upper wire harness, the flat ribbon cable, and the wireless pulse cable. Find the guide wire tie coming from the upright center hole. Wrap the wire tie around the upper wire harness and feed the connectors into the upright center hole. Pull the wire tie from the lower access hole and guide the upper wire harness through the upright and out of the lower access hole. Next, connect the ribbon cable and the pulse cable from the upright center hole to the corresponding cables from the display console. Ensure cables are not crimped or caught between console and upright. Then engage the studs on the console and the keyways in the upright. Then pull forward to lock the display console in place. Run the upper wire harness behind the elevation motor opposite the screw end and connect it to the motor control board. Push the ground wire from the upper harness to the corresponding grounding cable wire coming from the motor pan. Using 4 M6x75 button head cap screws from the 90 series hardware kit and a 5mm hex wrench, secure display console assembly to upright. Display console assembly is now complete. Leveling feet. Confirm that all treadmill feet are touching the ground. Place a level across the rear and stand in the middle of the running surface, facing the rear of the treadmill. Check if the bubble is centered on the level. If necessary, loosen the 19mm and 14mm nuts using open end or adjustable wrench until foot touches the floor. If the bubble goes to the right while standing on treadmill, adjust the left rear foot. Loosen the 19mm nut by turning it clockwise and rest it against the 14mm nut. Turn the 14mm nut clockwise to raise the foot. Stop adjusting the foot when the bubble is centered on the level. If the bubble goes to the left while standing on treadmill, adjust the right rear foot by repeating these same steps. Confirm that the bubble is centered on the level. Leveling the feet is now complete. Installing the motor cover. For this step, you will require the following parts. Begin by removing the 2 832x1 crosshead screws attached to the bottom frame using a Phillips head screwdriver. Repeat this same step and remove the 2 screws on the opposite side. Next, tilt the motor cover between uprights and place over the motor pan. Using the crosshead screws you just removed from the frame, secure the motor cover by tightening all 4 screws. Make sure to tighten all screws on both sides. Plug the treadmill power cord into a dedicated power outlet. Ensure that the power cord has plenty of slack and will not be pinched beneath the treadmill as the treadmill elevates up and down. Turn on the power switch located next to the power cord and make sure the safety lanyard block is pushed in. Installation of the motor cover is now complete. Tread belt tensioning. For this step, you will require the following parts. Before checking thread belt tension, make sure treadmill is level. Start the treadmill and increase speed to 2 miles per hour. Check that the tread belt is centered on the track and not moving off to one side. If belt is going toward one side, or if belt feels like it is slipping under your feet, follow tension instructions as follows. Start treadmill and walk at 2 miles per hour for 20 minutes and walk from front to back over the entire surface to properly walk in the lubrication. As you walk, test the treadmill by adjusting speed and incline. Ensure all displays properly light. The tread belt track is centered and tensioned using the take-up screws located at the back of the treadmill. If the tread belt is too loose and is slipping as you walk, turn both screws clockwise by 1/4 turn to tighten using a 9/16 inch socket. Please allow approximately 2 to 3 minutes for the belt to adjust to its new position. Adjust as necessary to achieve proper tracking. After confirming proper treadmill operation, turn the treadmill off by pressing Stop twice. Your treadmill is now ready for use. Congratulations! Assembly of the L7, L8, and L9 Treadmill 90 series is now complete. Enjoy your new treadmill. Brought to you by Landice.